Welsh rugby supporters have been urged to be patient amid a start warning from the top man in Springbok rugby. It could take the Cheetahs and Southern Kings up to 2 years to be competitive in the new Guinness pro14. And South African Rugby Union Chief Executive Jory Roux appeared to dash hopes the Republic's major Super Rugby teams Bulls, Sharks, Stormers and back-to-back finalists Lions could follow the Pathfinders north. He also revealed the pro14 television deal with broadcasters in South Africa, which Wales regions hope will bank them about an extra £500,000 each, for still being thrashed out, admitting some games may not be aired. Strugglers Cheetahs and Kings were kicked out of Super Rugby following this year's tournament. Australian team Western Force were also controversially chopped during a cull when the number of teams reverted to 15 from 18 following a failed expansion. Jory Roux right with pro14 Chief Executive Martin Anayi left and tournament chairman Gerald Davies image Getty Images Europe, but the two South African franchises were offered a lifeline by pro12 governors, provided they brought money to the table, and a deal was quickly struck. It has resulted in the pro14 being split into 2 conferences of 7. Roux, speaking candidly and in detail about the deal which makes the pro14 the second official trans-hemisphere club competition. Super Rugby beat them to it with Sunwolves, who play most of their home matches in Japan, being from the Northern Hemisphere, was candid as he addressed the issues facing the hastily arranged pro14 and South African rugby. Among them was the extreme heat the Scarlets, Ospreys, Cardiff Blues, Dragons and the rest of the teams in it could face in South Africa, with temperatures in the high 70s and 80s, sometimes rising about 100 Fahrenheit. We are introducing summer rugby. South Africa gets pretty hot at some stage, but we are looking forward to some exercise, said Roux. We are bringing some pretty big clubs to South Africa, who have never played here before. We have only seen them in Europe, watching them playing in the competitions. There is a perception about playing Northern Hemisphere teams' clubs and how strong they are, but we have never really had the opportunity to measure ourselves against them. It makes perfect sense for us, in terms of time zones and exposure, for our teams. Hopefully, we will be able to contribute to what is already a great competition. Conor Murray left, Rhys Webb middle and Johnny Sexton. I think there's genuine interest in the players Jonathan Davies, Alan Wynne-Jones, Johnny Sexton, Conor Murray, Rhys Webb and co, who South African crowds only see on an inbound tour 3 or 4 times in a 12-year period. It's not the same teams we see playing year in, year out in Super Rugby. You can see the keen interest in this competition from our broadcasters when we are not even playing in it. So I think it's a new energy with new teams. Hopefully, it will be supported. There's some clashes with domestic competition Currie Cup in the first year, but we will overcome that problem in the next 2 months in a restructuring of competitions for 2018. Some games will be broadcast and some not, as much as the broadcasters can deliver on, hopefully enough to entertain everybody. Torsten van Jaarsveld, Toyota Cheetahs, Johnny Gray Glasgow Warriors, Jonathan Davies Scarlets, Luba Barlow Mountie Yanda Southern Kings and Gary Ringrose Leinster Rugby at the Guinness pro14 launch in Cape Town. There's also a fair argument at the moment that there's too much rugby on TV, so maybe we can strike a balance there. The fact is we have got 2 teams playing international rugby. They will be on the pitch and they will be playing. We know it's going to be tough the first 2 years. We are not blind to that and we are going in with open eyes, but we are happy there's faith in us, and, after 2 years, we will have proven ourselves, both from a sustainable point of view and, more importantly, from a quality and performance view. The Super Rugby agreement between SANZAAR, the umbrella organisation made up of the South African, New Zealand, Australian and Argentine unions, runs out after the 2020 tournament. New Zealand's Richie McCaw wins a line-out ball during their 2015 Rugby World Cup semi-final win over South Africa. Image David Davis Pawaya Roux said South Africa was committed to SANZAAR and added, we are going into a negotiation period. We will make a decision on that. But, having said that, we believe we are stronger because we play New Zealand and Australian sides all the time. That relationship has been to the great benefit of South African rugby for more than 20 years. They are our partners and we don't foresee not playing New Zealand and Australian teams in future. Israel Folau makes a break for Australia against South Africa. Image Getty Images. What we do have is the opportunity to expand in terms of our competitions and horizons, and we are trying to take that opportunity. So we may end up with a different structure in the future, but not playing in the South in any shape or form is almost unthinkable because purely, from a financially sustainable point of view, we would suffer. "We are committed to SANZAR and the pro14, and we will honor those commitments," he declared.